The wrestling world was caught off guard this past weekend when news broke that Andrade had once again been released from WWE. At first it seemed like a quiet exit, but new reports confirmed this wasn't a simple matter of his contract running out. According to Fightful Select, Andrade still had more than 18 months left on his deal when he re-signed, meaning his departure was not tied to contract expiration. Fightful confirmed that this was an isolated situation, not connected to any larger wave of roster cuts. In fact, several talent told Fightful they had no idea Andrade was leaving, or that he was even gone until after the news surfaced, showing how quietly the situation was handled. Speculation over the past few weeks centered on a possible injury, but WWE's internal injury report never listed Andrade. Instead, Fightful, through their sources within WWE, revealed that discussions about his exit had been in the works for some time. He was not seen backstage at SmackDown during this time period, further signaling that he had already been removed from active plans. WWE sources confirmed that conversations about his departure had been ongoing for at least a week before it became public. Sports Illustrated's The Takedown added another layer, reporting that Andrade was told to leave a recent WWE taping and was escorted out of the building. A high-level source explained that the ejection was connected to his most recent suspension, something WWE never formally acknowledged. SI also reported that Andrade had at least one wellness policy violation during his 2025 return. Unlike in previous years, WWE did not make this public, part of a quiet policy shift after the TKO Group merger in 2023, where wellness suspensions are no longer disclosed. This wasn't Andrade's first run-in with the policy. Back in 2020, he was suspended for 30 days during his original run after a confirmed violation. This time, however, everything was handled discreetly. While it's not clear when the 2025 violation took place, there's still no confirmation that it directly caused his release. Now, Dave Meltzer has weighed in on the situation, speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, and pointed to a behind-the-scenes disciplinary issue that quietly escalated. He reported that Andrade had already been pulled from television well before word of his release broke. WWE officials made the call to remove him from programming and keep him away from the locker room. Meltzer added, "It was actually a story from a couple of weeks ago, and he was told to go home, and he's not been used since. I was told it was not drug-related, not alcohol-related, and not marriage-related, but nobody would tell me what it was, but it was enough to be sent home." His absence forced immediate changes to WWE's creative plans following SummerSlam, which ended up being his last appearance for the company. At one point, Andrade was penciled in to team with Phoenix against the Wyatt Six at Clash in Paris, but those plans were scrapped once it became clear he was leaving. There was a leaked poster of Andrade and Rey Fenix in a tag team match at SummerSlam. Another rumor suggested Andrade's departure was tied to him refusing an appearance for AAA as part of WWE's crossover projects like Worlds Collide. That narrative was quickly shut down. PW Insider reported that not only did Andrade never refuse such a request, but WWE never even pitched him for AAA plans in the first place. We're told by 3 different sources that at no point was that request even made, as Andrade was never even included in any pitches for AAA creative ideas. With his sudden release, speculation has already turned to Andrade's next move. AEW remains a possibility despite the fact that his run there also ended with disciplinary issues. Back in 2022, Andrade was suspended after a backstage altercation with Sammy Guevara, stalling his momentum. He wrapped up his AEW stint by December 2023 after declining a long-term extension. AEW had expected him to stay, but shortly before his final match with Miro, Andrade informed management he wouldn't be committing, forcing creative changes. Fightful reports that their sources reveal that despite Andrade's 2023 disciplinary issues, he left AEW on good terms and stated that they've kept the door open. Tony Khan even praised Andrade during the World's End post-show press conference, saying they parted on good terms. Adding to the buzz, MJF jumped into the conversation online. Taking to Twitter, he said he'll be in Mexico soon to beat the ever-loving out of Místico at CMLL, mocking Andrade's broke fellow countrymen. MJF then teased Andrade directly, saying he could join him for a margarita before flying to Toronto to face Mark Briscoe. Andrade's undeniable talent makes his abrupt WWE exit all the more striking. Fans are now left wondering where he will land next, whether it's a return to AEW, a run in CMLL, or something entirely new. Wherever he goes, Andrade's next chapter will be closely followed by the wrestling world. Jey Uso has been one of WWE's most popular babyfaces for quite some time, but speculation began swirling after the events of this week's Raw that he could be heading toward a heel turn. Fans question his direction following a surprising moment on the show, but new reports have clarified his current status. According to Bodyslam.net, WWE has no creative plans to turn Jey Uso heel at this time. Internally, he is still viewed as one of the company's top babyfaces, and everything about his current on-screen presentation reflects that positioning. As of now, there are no creative plans within WWE to turn Jey Uso heel. Internally, he continues to be positioned as one of the company's top babyfaces, and his current presentation reflects that stance. The speculation came after Jey delivered a brutal spear to LA Knight on the September 8th edition of Monday Night Raw. The move caught fans off guard, especially since LA Knight had actually helped Jimmy Uso earlier in the night when the Vision launched their attack. Even before that moment, Jey had been showing a more aggressive side in his backstage segments. In one exchange, Jimmy even pointed out that Jey was starting to sound a lot like Roman Reigns, a comparison that only added fuel to the rumors. For now though, Jey Uso remains firmly in the babyface role. His spear on LA Knight may have shocked the audience, but it's not a sign of a heel turn, at least not yet. Do you think WWE should eventually let Jey's more aggressive edge lead to a full heel turn? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Rhea Ripley lived out her horror-fueled fantasy in brutal fashion during a surprise appearance at Silver Scream Con in Worcester, Mass. The Eradicator, known for her obsession with horror films, particularly the Terrifier franchise, stepped into the spotlight alongside none other than Art the Clown during an Ice Nine Kills concert. Ripley didn't just appear for a wave or a photo op, she dove headfirst into the chaos, confronting Art the Clown live on stage. At one point, she tried to wrestle a weapon out of his hands before slapping him across the face. Art struck back, knocking Ripley down and attacking her while she lay motionless. The horror scene escalated as two people dressed as medical staff rushed in, lifted her up, and carried her away, completing the unsettling cinematic moment. After the performance, Ripley made it clear that the blood-splattered spectacle was no random stunt. Taking to social media, she revealed it was a dream come true, writing, "I may have just lived my dream. Thank you." The crowd may have been stunned by what unfolded, but for Ripley, it was pure horror bliss. Given her WWE persona thrives on intimidation, fear, and physical dominance, it makes sense that her ultimate fantasy involved being attacked by one of modern horror's most terrifying villains. Should Rhea Ripley take the next step and star in a horror film? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know if you'd watch it. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Jake Hager didn't hold back when asked what really happened at the end of his AEW run, and the former WWE World Heavyweight Champion delivered a blunt assessment of Tony Khan's creative leadership. Speaking on Unscripted, Hager described AEW as a company in disarray, run by a boss who wouldn't listen, even to his top stars. When asked directly about walking away from AEW, he aimed squarely at Khan. To get to the end of the career and have someone like Tony Khan, who's been in this business a cup of coffee and doesn't really know, he can't make himself a sandwich, let alone write a storyline that'll last. According to Hager, the issue wasn't just Khan's lack of experience, but also his unwillingness to be challenged. He's got contributors, yes men that help him write his storylines, but there's no one there that could tell him no. Hager said that the power vacuum left talent completely out of the loop creatively, especially after Cody Rhodes departed AEW. Rhodes, he explained, had provided structure and direction, but once he was gone, everything changed. If wrestlers wanted to pitch ideas, they often had little chance of getting Khan's attention. You were in the building at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. after the show was done. You were waiting in line because he had so many other important things going on, and you never got his full attention. Even when he did manage to secure a meeting, Hager recalled Khan giving vague and dismissive responses. He would give you some kind of bullshit response like, "Oh, I see you in a tag team with Sammy Guevara. Like, I don't really see you doing that." Communication, Hager claimed, was another serious problem. He said Khan was difficult to reach, even for Chris Jericho. Even Chris, he would tell me that Tony would not respond to his messages for 2 weeks. For Hager, that silence was a sign of deeper neglect. AEW eventually stopped holding production meetings altogether, leaving talent in the dark on live taping days. They stopped doing production meetings. They stopped doing anything to make the show timely. We would be waiting around until 5 p.m. to find out what we were doing that day, and what live television show does that? Only one with money behind it. The breakdown in communication, Hager argued, wasn't just frustrating, it was career-altering. What began as a company filled with energy and hope had turned into an environment where even veterans couldn't get their voices heard. With AEW already under scrutiny and backstage rumors swirling, Hager's comments carry weight. Do you think Tony Khan needs to bring in a stronger team that isn't afraid to challenge him creatively? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We have a major update on Bianca Belair, who WWE fans haven't seen compete in the ring since her WrestleMania 41 triple threat match, where she suffered a broken finger, and she's now provided a new update on her status. The EST of WWE spoke to the Club 520 podcast, and despite how long she's been out of action, Belair surprisingly admitted her finger still hasn't fully healed. I have my wedding ring on my right hand because my left finger is still broken. The match against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley might have cost her months on the sidelines, but it still holds a special place in her heart due to the story they were able to tell. That's one of my matches I'm super proud about at WrestleMania this past year with Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. There was a lot of strength and athleticism that we displayed and storytelling. That's what's amazing about WWE. It's sports entertainment for sure, and that's what we do. I'm super proud to be a part of something like that. Belair still hasn't provided a timeline for her return, keeping fans guessing on that front. But she's proud of her accomplishments, and her finger is on the mend. Are you ready to see Bianca Belair return to the ring once she's fully healed? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. Back in 2023, AEW entered the video game market by releasing AEW Fight Forever, but despite all of the hype behind it, the game was met with mixed reviews and was widely considered to be a colossal failure. A video game developer for AEW Fight Forever, Justin Leeper, has now spoken to Mike Check about the game, revealing exactly why it failed to make much of an impact in the market. He revealed that working on it was different from the WWE projects he'd previously done, as AEW was very hands-on with the game, including Kenny Omega, who was the creative liaison from AEW. Even though Omega isn't trained in video games, Leeper praised his collaborative leadership and compared him to gaming legend Hideo Kojima. He revealed Omega had a clear creative vision and was cooperative and open throughout the project. Unfortunately, he admitted that creating the game was a chaotic process, and shipping a good one felt like a miracle. Unlike the old SmackDown vs. Raw series, AEW lacked a major publisher such as THQ to oversee everything. Video game development is chaotic. About 85% of the time, it's a show, and a good game shipping is almost a miracle. Unlike THQ or 2K, AEW didn't have a major publisher guiding the project at the time, which created challenges about who controlled decisions, budgets, and direction. I had only 10 months to write and implement the story mode with a much smaller budget compared to the Road to WrestleMania era. Other departments had it pretty hard too. I even did motion capture myself and learned to put cutscenes into Unreal Engine. It felt almost like an indie project. I'm proud of what I did, but AEW Fight Forever didn't score as high as other games because we lacked the big resources and legacy content that 2K provided. Some decisions also didn't give the game the long-term replayability that players expect from a $60 title. People want different things from games, and while fans can always vote with their wallets, I don't think we fully delivered the longevity many were hoping for, so it failed. AEW has been seeking a new partner for upcoming video games, which could potentially lead to a parting of ways with Yuke's, as Tony Khan has confirmed that more AEW video games are on the way. Time will tell if that ends up being a proper video game with the full roster like AEW Fight Forever, or if it'll be a different style as they have previously done. Why do you think AEW Fight Forever failed? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. A major business decision that fans would like to see is a change in WWE's ticket prices, but people who've been hoping that they will drop soon are going to be disappointed. Mark Shapiro was speaking about WWE's live event pricing, admitting that the company is still not on par with UFC in terms of profitability per fan. Shapiro highlighted that UFC constantly breaks records for gate revenue, while WWE has been slower to optimize its pricing model. He used UFC's recent success at the United Center in Chicago as the standard that WWE can achieve when possible. UFC is breaking records everywhere they go. The last numbered fight in Chicago was the highest grossing event in the history of the United Center, dating back through the Michael Jordan days, and they are already at the table trying to get another fight for next year. Shapiro made it clear that WWE lagged so far behind because of Vince McMahon, who was structuring things around families being able to afford tickets. WWE, which granted their PLEs are mostly in stadiums, so it's not apples to apples, and of course they have a lot more volume with Raw and SmackDown and NXT happening on a weekly basis 52 weeks a year. But having said that, we know we have a lot of room there because Vince McMahon was primarily pricing tickets for families and wasn't totally focused on maximizing the opportunity there. One man who isn't a fan of WWE's latest direction under TKO is Eric Bischoff, and it's not just about Saudi Arabia that he feels that way. During the latest episode of 83 Weeks, Bischoff and Raj Giri discussed the recent rise in ticket pricing, addressing Shapiro's comments that WWE had room to grow its ticket yield due to McMahon making WWE affordable for families. Bischoff didn't appreciate that comment, and he warned the company that raising prices too high could backfire on WWE. Of course, in the short term, you're going to make more money. As long as the market will bear it, you can keep raising prices until you finally find the point where you've gone too far. Bischoff went on to discuss what truly built the wrestling empire in the United States, which was all about being accessible to families and children, and he thinks it could be fatal to price them out of live events. One of the reasons that professional wrestling as we know it in the United States has been as successful as it has since the beginning of television time is because it's family entertainment. It's a generational experience. Bischoff went on to stress that families are the lifeblood of wrestling's future, and that pricing them out would burn the bridge to the future generation of fans who would carry wrestling forward. Parents could take their kids and their kids' friends, and you could go to an event like WWE or AEW or TNA and afford to bring them. Those kids grow up, and they'll bring their kids one day. If you break that generational cycle, you break the foundation of your audience. He then delivered a final warning about the situation, which WWE might want to listen to. Short term, you'll make more money. Long term, you risk losing the next generation of fans. With the company continuing to expand globally, ticket prices are rising, and veterans like Bischoff are warning the company about its decisions. It might lead to some major profits for WWE soon, but at what cost will it have to the heart of the audience that has kept the business alive? In more news about WWE's future, Triple H recently appeared on Nightcap with Unk and Ocho, where he delivered a massive update in a casual manner as if it were no big deal. The game confirmed that WWE is constructing a new performance center in Orlando, Florida right now, as he spoke about WWE's NIL program and developmental system. Triple H explained that the college athletes are finding new paths to superstardom through WWE, even if it's not the sport they originally intended to thrive in. He revealed that WWE's current facility mirrors those of Division I college programs in terms of its professionalism, but then dropped the bombshell that another one is on the way, proving WWE is still growing. It's in Orlando. We're in the process of building a new one now in Orlando. It'll be even bigger and better. It's the first time the news has been publicly confirmed, coming straight from the mouth of the man who helped launch NXT and transform WWE's developmental system in the first place. He admitted to the importance of the location. Our main offices are in Connecticut and LA, where Orlando's the developmental. WWE's current performance center is located at 5055 Forsyth Commerce Road in Orlando, having officially opened on July 11, 2013. The 26,000 square foot facility has been WWE's primary training facility ever since. It's a state-of-the-art building featuring 7 training rings, a world-class strength and conditioning area, and cutting-edge production suites, providing wrestlers with everything they need. It's been the birthplace of dozens of top main roster superstars from Bianca Belair to Charlotte Flair, but now it appears that WWE is set to take things to the next level with a new facility. Triple H may have dropped this casually, but it's a big deal behind the scenes. A new home for NXT's future? That's worth paying attention to.